Let us get the obvious out of the way. LeBron James, Stephen Curry, and Kevin Durant. I expect every human being on Earth to have these guys as definite, no question about it, first ballot Hall of Famers. I don't even have to take the time to make a case for any of them. Now, believe it or not, there are about 10 active NBA players who I would say are guaranteed to make the Hall of Fame, but the remaining guys on the list are a bit more contentious. I'll start off with Dwight Howard, Chris Paul, and Carmelo Anthony. Look, I am not the biggest fan of Melo nor Dwight. In fact, I was calling Melo overrated long before it was cool. But you cannot deny these guys' accomplishments. Melo is a 10-time All-Star, 6-time All-NBA, he won a scoring title, an NCAA title, and was also voted the NCAA Most Outstanding Player. I don't watch or follow college basketball, at all. I honestly don't know how much weight that award carries, but I do know the Hall of Fame is a basketball Hall of Fame, not an NBA Hall of Fame. Consequently, Melo's college accomplishments will help him get in. Additionally, he played in 4 Olympic tournaments, has a bronze medal, and 3 gold medals. And presumably has numerous US Olympic basketball records that I am far too lazy to look up, but I'm sure they're out there. Even if you take his non-NBA accomplishments out of the equation, he still has had a Hall of Fame career. Just comparing Melo's NBA accomplishments to other Hall of Fame players, Reggie Miller and Clyde Drexler, aside from the ring that Drexler won, Melo accomplished more than both of them. And looking at his stats, the fact that he is generally regarded as one of the greatest scorers in NBA history, he averaged 20 points per game or more for the first 14 seasons of his NBA career, something only a handful of other NBA players could do. He also has scored over 25,000 career points and is top 20 all-time on the scoring list. Like him or not, Melo will undoubtedly end up in the Hall of Fame. Moving on to Dwight Howard. I would say he has had an even better career than Melo, and during his prime, he was definitely regarded as the better player. Like Melo, he won a gold medal in the 2008 Olympics. In addition, he is an 8-time All-Star, 8-time All-NBA, including 5 first team, 5 defensive teams, 5-time rebounding leader, 2-time block leader, and most impressively, 3-time Defensive Player of the Year. He won it 3 consecutive years. He is number 14 on the NBA's all-time rebounds and blocks list. He was the best center in the NBA and one of the best players in the league for a 5 to 7 year span. He finished top 5 in MVP voting 4 times, including finishing at number 2 in 2011. He has just as good a resume, if not better, than many other Hall of Fame centers, such as Alonzo Mourning, Dikembe Mutombo, Bill Walton, Robert Parrish, and Patrick Ewing. This may come as a surprise for some of you. Howard is arguably a top 10 center ever, which means he's arguably a top 10 player at the most historically loaded position in the NBA. Hate him or love him, Howard will for sure end up in the Hall of Fame. Finally, Chris Paul. CP3's resume speaks for itself. 10 All-Star selections, 8 All-NBA teams, 9 All-Defensive teams, 4 assist titles, and 6 steals titles, Rookie of the Year, All-Star Game MVP, 2 Olympic gold medals. I challenge you to find a single NBA player with a resume that stacked who is not in the Hall of Fame. He's number 7 all-time on the NBA's assist and steals list. Some detractors may say that CP3's lack of postseason success will keep him from the Hall. However, there have been other NBA players whose postseason success has also been lacking, and yet they still made the Hall of Fame. Dominique Wilkins and Tracy McGrady both come to mind. Both of those players have less on their resume than Chris, by the way. Similar to Howard, Paul is one of the top players ever at his position. The only point guards who I will say with 100% confidence are better than him are Stephen Curry and Magic Johnson. Chris Paul is one of the greatest point guards and players in the history of the game. Paul's former teammate and his replacement, James Harden and Russell Westbrook respectively, are also locks for the Hall of Fame. Both of them have won an MVP, an Olympic gold medal, a World Cup gold medal, have a lot of All-Star selections, All-NBA selections, and each have won a couple scoring titles and assist titles. In the case of Harden, he has solidified himself as one of the greatest scorers in NBA history. In 2019, he had the highest scoring season in terms of points per game average since Michael Jordan in 1987. He's also got a list of other achievements that I am not going to list, but you can read them here if you care. I'm referring to stuff like 60-point triple-doubles and stuff of that nature. For Russell Westbrook, he solidified himself as a Hall of Famer when he won his MVP and became the first player since Oscar Robertson to average a triple-double for an entire season. He went on to do this for 3 straight seasons, a feat no one else can claim. Now, you can debate the merits of that accomplishment and how impressive it actually is because of the whole his teammates helped him get extra rebounds thing, and while that is all fair and valid criticism, I doubt the Hall of Fame committee is going to take that into consideration. Similar to Harden, Westbrook has a number of other sort of random accomplishments that I am not going to list, but again, you can read them here if you care. To conclude, Harden and Westbrook are already surefire Hall of Famers. The final 2 players I think are locks are Pau Gasol and Vince Carter. I'll start with Carter. His resume isn't as impressive as any player I've mentioned so far, including Gasol. He is an 8-time All-Star, 2-time All-NBA, and 1 Rookie of the Year. I still think he will get in based off of the Olympic gold medal he won in 2000, the fact that he is widely regarded as the best dunker ever, and the fact that he basically put a franchise on the map, that team being the Toronto Raptors. He's also got the novelty of playing in 4 different decades and playing the most seasons in NBA history, 22. He's scored over 25,000 career points and is top 20 all-time in scoring, although he may no longer be top 20 by the time he is eligible for the Hall of Fame. Now for Pau Gasol. Gasol had an impressive NBA career, 2 championships, 6 All-Star selections, 4 All-NBA selections, and he also won Rookie of the Year. What really solidifies his Hall of Fame status is his international career though. He has numerous Spanish and European awards and championships. Additionally, he has a bronze and a couple silver Olympic medals. I know in the US we view anything less than gold for basketball as a failure, but keep in mind that is not the standard for other countries and sports. A bronze or silver medal is still a tremendous accomplishment. Gasol also has a World Cup gold medal and a number of medals from the Eurobasket. I am not going to sit here and pretend I know what the Eurobasket is, but I'm sure it's important. Those are all the guys I think are locks to make the Hall. In addition to those guys, I think there are maybe 15 to 20 other active NBA players who could make the Hall of Fame. I'm not going to talk about all of them because this video will start to get very repetitive if I did that. It is probably already repetitive enough as is. I'll just throw a list of players on screen and you can look at each player's resume and decide for yourself. One player I will talk about though is Luka Dončić because he is probably the most eyebrow-raising player on the list since he hasn't even played 2 full seasons yet. Keep in mind that this is a basketball Hall of Fame and not an NBA Hall of Fame. Luka was the best player in the 2nd best basketball league in the world. He has an incredibly decorated resume outside of the NBA. And in the NBA, he won Rookie of the Year, been an All-Star, has a number of youngest player to do XYZ accomplishments. In his second season, he's nearly averaging a 30-point triple-double. I mean, he's had a pretty great career already. He's had a pretty great basketball career already. And may very well be Hall of Fame worthy, as is.